They say beauty will save the world. Well, Donald Trump seems to have made it his personal mission to be the hero in that story.
This election is our last chance to save America.
The former president's relentless quest for perfection gets a spotlight in his new biopic, The Apprentice. Though let's be real, he's not exactly a fan of it.
I was angry.
His first wife, Ivana Trump, once spilled some pretty wild details in her divorce deposition, claiming that Donald flew into a full-blown rage after a painful scalp reduction procedure back in 1989. In case you're wondering, that's a surgery to reduce balding.
Donald during the divorce was brutal. He took the divorce as a business deal, and he cannot lose.
And apparently, Dr. Stephen Hufflin wasn't just working on his head. Ivana also claimed he gave Donald a little liposuction on his chin and waist. So yes, even back then, Trump was committed to keeping it tight.
I don't have thin skin. I have very strong, very thick skin.
In The Apprentice, we get a front-row seat to Trump's cosmetic journey, with the final scenes showing him going through both procedures. The director even throws in a bit of symbolism, comparing it to Frankenstein's monster. Pretty harsh, right? And funnily enough, it's the first time in the movie where we see Sebastian Stan, the actor playing Trump, fully transform into the Donald we know today. Hair and chin tucked, the transformation is complete. Now all that's missing is a red hat and a Twitter account.
Look at that guy, how handsome he is.
Now, you might be wondering if Donald's the only one in the Trump household with a knack for cosmetic enhancements. Well, let's just say his current wife, Melania, seems to share his passion for perfection. She's no stranger to a little cosmetic magic herself. Looks like beauty maintenance is a family affair. A particular post on X, formerly Twitter, had everyone buzzing and made Dr. Dan Yamini, a Beverly Hills plastic surgeon, join the discussion.
I was surprised.
Dr. Yamini took a look at Melania's transformation and suggested she might have had some work done. He pointed out that the lifted cheekbones and tighter eyes could be a result of a facelift and eyelid surgery. Plus, her chiseled cheeks and jawline might come from a face and neck lift. And let's not forget her narrower nose, which he thinks could be due to rhinoplasty.
Well, I'm very proud of Melania. She looks amazing tonight. But she always looks amazing.
Also, celebrity plastic surgeon Dr. Gary Matiki estimates Melania might have spent around $45,000 to $50,000 on her look. But back in 2016, Melania told GQ she hadn't had any cosmetic procedures. She credited her youthful look to a healthy lifestyle and good skincare, and admitted she wasn't into injectables because they might damage your face. She even said she'd follow her mom's lead and age gracefully.
It is not concern and focus of mine.
Dr. Yamini, however, believes that if Melania didn't undergo major surgery, she likely opted for smaller procedures, such as hyaluronic acid fillers, to achieve similar results. At 54, she's still a bit young for a facelift, so it's more likely that she's relied on genetics, top-notch skincare, and subtle cosmetic enhancements.
I have much more important things to think about and to do.
Another possibility is fat grafting, where her own body fat is used to enhance volume in her face. And while Melania insisted she's never used Botox, Dr. Yamini suspects she might have had it to maintain her famously stoic expression.
It looks like there's some filler that was placed in here to create this round, smooth contour in her mid-face area.
If she avoided the full-on face or neck lift, she might have tried a thread lift, which uses absorbable sutures for a temporary lift. Plus, her flawless skin could be the result of laser treatments or chemical peels.
So we are prepared for that. We have a thick skin.
Now, you're probably thinking, how much cash does someone need to keep up with such a luxurious lifestyle and casually get cosmetic surgery whenever they feel like it? Well, don't worry. We've got the answer coming right up. Let's just say, being Trump doesn't come cheap. First up, Donald Trump. Now, Trump's finances are like one of those complicated thrillers. Lots of twists, a few plot holes, and a big cast of characters. And to be honest, it's tough to pin down his exact net worth.
How much are you worth right now as you're sitting right here?
Zero idea, David. It depends on what's happening with the world and the market. But the $1 million for each person in the audience sounds like it could be an intriguing idea.
Yeah.
According to Forbes, as of September 9th, Trump was sitting at about $4 billion. Oh, I know what you're thinking. Wasn't it higher before? And you'd be right. Back in May, the same guys over at Forbes said he was worth around $6.9 billion. Bloomberg, on the other hand, gave him an even more generous estimate of $7.67 billion. But, like a stock market roller coaster, Trump's fortune dropped about $3 billion since then. Tough break, Don.
Steve, you're going to have to start pushing these people now a little bit, because it's getting a little ridiculous as far as I'm concerned.
Now, where did all this money come from? Well, despite Trump's claims of being a self-made man, let's just say he had a little help along the way. Trump's father, Fred Trump, was a big-time real estate developer, and he wasn't shy about sharing the wealth with his son.
I went to work for a wonderful father. I had a great father, and I did a good job, and he liked me. He thought I was good.
In fact, the New York Times reported that Donald received at least $413 million, adjusted for 2018 prices, from his father's business empire. That's more than a small loan of $1 million by a long shot. I mean, if Trump was a millionaire by age 8, most of us were still figuring out how to not lose our lunch money.
You know, you look much richer in person.
By the late 60s, Trump had joined the family business, and by 1971, he was president, taking control while Fred focused on Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island. Donald set his sights on Manhattan, quipping, "This way, I got Manhattan all to myself." And it wasn't just ambition. Fred was heavily involved in Donald's early ventures, financially backing him through loans totaling over $14 million. So, the Trump name didn't just open doors, it built them.
Have you ever been fired?
I've never been fired.
No?
I've never been fired. I've never had the privilege.
Fred Trump funneled money to his son through nearly 300 revenue streams over 5 decades. Trump's been the beneficiary of several trust funds since he was 3 years old. Yes, you read that right. Little Donald was a millionaire before most of us could spell allowance. By the time Fred passed away in 1999, his will divvied up $20 million after taxes among his surviving kids.
The truth is, I'm actually a modest person, very modest. It's true.
And Donald? Well, he was already cashing in by the early 80s. He even borrowed $9.6 million from his father's estate in 2007. But don't worry, he says he paid it back with interest.
You know, I started off in Brooklyn. My father gave me a small loan of $1 million.
Yes. Not much, just a small loan of $1 million.
Fred Trump also handed Donald some sweet real estate deals at less than market rates, which might explain a little issue with the tax department. But hey, it's not a Trump story without a tax fraud investigation, right?
Did you use that $916 million loss to avoid paying personal federal income taxes?
Of course I do. Of course I do.
Fast forward to today, and Trump's real estate ventures, luxury hotels, casinos, golf courses, and the ever-controversial Trump-branded products, yes, Trump steaks were a thing, still contribute to his financial empire.
You must be incredibly busy.
I am busy. I get up very early.
But here's the kicker. His net worth skyrocketed by at least $1 billion after an assassination attempt at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Forbes reported that his wealth now comes from several key areas, including his real estate holdings in Truth Social, the parent company of his social media platform.
There was blood pouring everywhere, and yet, in a certain way, I felt very safe because I had God on my side. I felt that.
Trump owns 65% of Truth Social, which was valued at $4.6 billion after shares jumped by 32% following the Butler rally. Add to that his real estate portfolio, Trump Tower in New York, multiple Florida homes, and the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas, along with properties like Mar-a-Lago and golf courses across the US and Europe, valued at $1.1 billion. And let's not forget the $410 million in cash and liquid assets. So, while Trump might have diversified his portfolio beyond stakes, he's certainly not putting all his eggs in one basket. Despite all the ups and downs in his financial journey, one thing is clear. Donald Trump knows how to keep himself in the headlines and maintain a larger-than-life persona. But here's the question. Could his recent aesthetic changes be a savvy move to keep him in the spotlight? What do you think? Share your thoughts.